Okay, we got another video today. Today we're going to be talking about Europe and what's going on over there and how that country is in a lot of trouble and it's basically falling and the people are starting to fight back. Let's see what's going on.
One in every 13 people in London is an illegal migrant. London is over. If you look at all the evidence on London, sexual offences, robbery, shoplifting up 54%, property ownership down 20% on the early 90s, rents are up 85%. London as a concept, London is kind of done, it's over, it's declining, it's invisible decline, it's impossible to get into if you're a hard-working, normal member of the public. There's a wall around it, it's expensive, it's not worth it, it's riddled with petty crime. 70,000 smartphones were stolen last year. There was a rape every hour, which is absolutely crazy. Sexual offences against women and girls have never been higher. Of course, nobody in the elite class would ever talk about this because, London is a symbol of diversity.
Sorry, 600,000 to a million immigrants in Britain. How exactly are you going to get them out?
The cop thinks she's a kindergarten teacher.
I'm breaking no laws. I'm not approaching people. People are approaching me.
And all I'm saying is if you carry on, then there will be issues, all right?
With the people?
With the police.
Why? How is that possible when I'm not breaking any laws?
Me and my colleague, we've explained it many times.
He's not doing anything
wrong. We can arrest
wrong.
someone to prevent a breach of the peace.
Yeah.
Breaching the peace is...
But he has to be
Right.
doing something wrong.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
Of course.
we're arresting you to prevent it from you
We're
doing
arresting
something wrong.
you.
We're not going to leave you to
Okay,
protest
so-
winding people up.
What is this, like Minority Report, like a crime that might happen in the future? You're going to
She's too
prevent
young to
it?
even know what that is.
Have you heard about that?
Why don't you just tell people to mind their own business?
Yep.
Well, I wouldn't recommend you do that.
Why?
Because you're going to cause issues. We are here to stop anyone attacking anyone or anyone getting angry because your behaviour, if you carry on with some of these people, someone might lose their temper
Yeah?
and then that's going to cause a breach of peace, isn't it?
Oh, God, I should have just stayed in bed this morning, shouldn't I?
You should have.
This is insane.
Yeah, she said, we're going to arrest you to prevent a crime. How do you know a crime's going to happen? Right? People can change their minds at any moment. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And of course, you know who they're arresting, right? They're not arresting the immigrants that are coming over there because they think in immigrants. They're only going to arrest the white citizens. That's who they're going to arrest. Or I shouldn't even say white citizens. They're just going to arrest any citizen. If they think that citizen might commit a crime, especially if it's a crime against an illegal immigrant. You think they're going to do that with the illegal immigrants? Do you think the police are going to sit there and they're going to be watching the illegal immigrants and say, hey, I think that person's going to commit a crime. Let's go arrest him. No, they're only going to do it against the citizens. And like he said, what is this, Minority Report? I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it proved that you can't just arrest people because you think they might commit a crime in the future. Because people just have this ability to change their minds, right? You could say to yourself, hey, I'm going to go down the street and I'm going to rob the store. And you could drive down there and you could walk up to the front door. And then when you're standing at the front door, you could say, you know what, this is stupid. I'm not going to do it. And you could turn around and drive away. But what they're trying to say is now, hey, we're going to arrest you just for having the thought that you might do it. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane.
The World War is not going to come from us bombing Iran. The next World War is going to come from England defending itself with Ireland.
Wait, whoa, that is not where I thought you were going.
Oh, yeah.
England defending itself with Ireland.
Yeah, England's got a pretty proud history.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You see what's happening over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I've been to Ireland
precursor?
3 times in the last 5 months. Talked to the locals, yeah. Because they're being invaded right now, just like they were during the Crusades. And the politicians now, the politicians are so afraid of the invasion. Because once the radical Muslims get 51%, it is going to change dramatically. And when they get pushed back, they're not getting pushed back to the Middle East. They're going to places like France. And that's where their politicians are too. So what happens if they're in positions of power and they are part of the military? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, no, a world war will start from there, not
That's
from
what I'm
Iran.
saying, like
Yeah.
a threat to
Well, because
that.
we are going to have England's back. So when that starts, I'm not saying right
That's
now, but
so
no one's looking on the horizon for this. Europe is being invaded. England will. All I'm doing is, as a former special operator, I'm just telling you what I think.
Right.
And that looks like, as far as world wars go, like old school world wars, not like just bombing the Middle East. We've been doing that shit just for the love of the game.
That's one way.
But I mean, a world war where armies fight each other, that's the most realistic world war.
Yeah, this is exactly what I've been saying for a while now. I also believe that the next major war that happens, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a world war, but I think it's going to be a large-scale war, and I think it's going to start in Europe, probably in the UK, and it's going to be because the people are just sick of all the immigration and all the crime. I honestly believe that. And I know in this video, this guy said the US is going to have the UK's back. I don't know exactly what he means by that. I mean, I know us, the people, are going to have the backs of the UK people. I know that. I don't know, depending on when the war starts, is it which president we're going to have in power? If we have the president that we currently have with Donald Trump, I'm sure he's going to be on the side of the citizens fighting against the immigrants. If our next president happens to be a left-wing Democrat, which hopefully it won't be, I can't promise that president is going to be on the side of the citizens. That president's probably going to be on the side of the people who want the immigration. He also said, we're going to have the UK's back. We're going to have England's back. Does he mean the people of England, or does he mean the politicians of England? Because that's two different groups right there. What the people want and what the politicians want. Like I said, I hope we're going to have the people's back, not the politicians.
So yeah, we've come here today to find out who's managing the building. We want to know if it's Serco or Clear Springs.
Okay. Why is it you want to know that?
Beg your pardon?
Why is it you'd like to know that?
Because if there are, say, 150 migrants in here, I think the locals have a right to know about it, don't you?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can't just private property.
Yeah.
You're entitled to film, but you need to be...
Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
Okay.
have you got any idea of this building or its purposes? Have you never been called here?
I don't think I have, no.
No.
I gotta say, man, is this the person you want protecting you? I'm just saying there are certain jobs, right? This girl, literally, this looks like this is her first day on the job. She looks very uncomfortable with this guy questioning her. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to act. She doesn't know how to answer the questions. This is going to be one of those days where she goes home after her shift and she's like, I don't know if I chose the right career path.
Police have probably been here, but I haven't heard. Can I ask that you film from outside?
Can I ask why you're getting involved in a civil matter?
I'm just asking you a question.
You're assisting the Home Office here. I'm trying to investigate and you're trying to move me off the premises. I don't get what the big deal is of cameras being here, unless you're happy with it being covered up as well.
Over 250.
Did you see her with her hands kind of like, she was nervous. She didn't know what to do.
The crimes committed, multiple stabbings and sexual assaults, dozens of syringe attacks targeting women, all happened during this event in guess which country. I'll give you a moment to guess. You won't believe it, but this happened in France. Definitely a failed society, and these are not pro-members of European society. Make sure to follow if you want to make Europe, Europe again.
I do not trust people from my religion and my background in terms of race, because I don't know which ones are the crazy ones, because they all look normal, right? You can't tell. I'm sorry, you can't tell. So I'm like, I'm not going to trust anyone right now. And I feel bad that I feel this way, but this is the reality. I do not feel safe in this country. I used to. The fact that this country used to be like the leader of the whole entire world, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm sorry. Is this really England? Britain, people, when they used to think about England and English people and, progressiveness and the women's rights and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, I'm living here and people all around the world follow my channel and they're like, what the hell's going on in England? How can this happen to you in this country? And they're urging the British government and British people to support me because otherwise I'm screwed. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
What could possibly go wrong? Estabali's Cortazar, refugees welcome open border activist, invited an African migrant to stay in her home. It was then that her nightmare began. House is a total pigsty. There's been a little cultural enrichment in the bathroom. He hates her dog and has zero respect for her property. And suffice to say, doesn't appear very grateful.
A las 6 de la mañana, él se levantaba, ponía música.
This went on for an entire year. He then harassed her, abused her with nasty insults. She desperately launched a petition complaining the migrant squatter had more rights than her. Then the migrant changed the locks, and she was forced to leave entirely and sleep on her brother's couch. Taunting her further, he sent her videos of a trashed apartment. Estabaliz still refused to divulge the migrant's country of origin to the media.
she got what she asked for, right? Can you really feel sorry for her? And and after all that, she still refuses to like admit that she was wrong and that these people shouldn't be here. Let me ask you this. If these people coming from other countries, they'll always tell you, oh, our country is great, our country is wonderful, I love my country that I came from. Then why'd you leave it? Why did you leave it? Then they'll say, well, because why? Right? They always say here in America, we have a lot of Central Americans coming into our open borders when it was the Biden presidency. Lots of illegal immigrants coming from Central America. All they talk about is how great their country is and how great their culture is. Then why'd you leave? Why did you, if it's so great, why did you have to walk thousands of miles, sneak into another country through their border in the middle of the night, swimming across a river to cross into a country illegally? If your country is so great, why did you have to do that?
Because she doesn't want to contribute to existing racism. She literally got what she voted for.
I really want to know what's going through the minds of these police officers. I mean, I understand the part that like this is their job. They show up to do their job and they kind of have to do what they're ordered to do. But at what point do you say, hey, this isn't what I signed up for? I signed up to protect the citizens of my country, not to be against the citizens of my country. And I'm sure that's something that a lot of those police officers struggle with every single day. As much as I say they deserve people yelling at them and calling them names, but at the same time, you have to understand that they probably don't want to be doing the job that they're doing. They're just following orders, right? And when the time comes, if the time comes where the you-know-what actually hits the fan, I have a feeling a lot of these police officers aren't going to be protecting the immigrants. They're going to be on the side of the citizens because at the end of the day, they're citizens of the UK also. I hope anyways. And it's the same thing where I live. I hope our police officers, they're doing a job right now that they have to do, that they're ordered to do. But I hope if push comes to shove, they're going to choose the side of right.
It started. Irish have set up their own anti-migrant checkpoints and are searching cars. Oh my God. This is only first gear, by the way. Like, if you think this is bad, this is the best it's ever going to get. This is
that one that turned
best
around.
it's ever going to be with these people.
So this is insane. A French woman was just given a 6-month suspended sentence and a $3,000 fine after she was assaulted in her own home. In December 2021, this woman, Thaïs Dosquiffon, was followed into her home in France by a man after a night out with her friends. The man then locked the door and held her captive for over 30 minutes while he grabbed her wrists and demanded that she do things to him. She managed to de-escalate the situation and the man left her house, at which point she immediately filed a police report. Then in 2023, she was invited to talk about her experience on a talk show, at which point she revealed that her attacker was a man from Tunisia, which is Northern Africa. Because of this, the French government's interministerial delegation to fight against racism has decided to sue her and try to put her in jail, essentially saying that her willingness to name the man that broke into her home and attempted to do those things may be offensive to other people. Prosecutors initially sought a €45,000 fine and up to 1 year in prison for this, by the way. As of right now, she received a 6-month suspended sentence and a €3,000 fine, which is more than the man who broke into the house and did the things got because police haven't found him yet. So just to get this straight, a French woman in her own home is attacked by a man that she later reveals happens to be from Northern Africa, and for some reason, she's the problem and they're trying to put her in jail.
I'll give you a free hat if you can guess where this was filmed. You'll never guess. Have a look. You'll have never guessed it, but this was filmed in Barcelona in Spain, the land of the conquistadors, the men who conquered the whole world. now have been conquered just within a decade in their own countries. It's truly sad to witness, and I hope Spain takes their country back. Make sure to follow if you want to make Europe again.
Did you see the mosh pit line of Polish dudes standing in the woods because there was a migrant caravan coming towards Poland?
They're stabbing through fences with sticks and like water hoses and stuff. They're like, no, go be a refugee somewhere else.
The one freaking gotcha journalist had like their president, and they're like, isn't it racist? You're not accepting immigrants. He's like, no, this is what I was elected to do. I don't give a shit what you think. We're not letting migrants in Poland.
And he was like, look at every country around us that allowed the migrants in. Look at their crime rate. You're welcome.
There was a little TikTok girl that moved to Poland. She's like, I'm getting out of the United States. There's so much crime here. And she went there and she's like, oh, this is so great here.
You just proved everybody right.
Okay, so just a little context on this clip real quick. Most of you probably have seen this. This girl lives in Germany. She's a German citizen. She's also a left-wing liberal who is in full support of immigration and fully supports the immigrants and everything like that. So she was streaming and she was trying to say that like, oh, all this, everything that people are saying about crime is overblown. It's overrated. So she said she's going to go out on New Year's Day in her own city. I forget what city it was in Germany, but it was in Germany. So she said, I'm going to go out on New Year's Eve and I'm going to prove to you guys that it's safe to walk the streets. Well, let's see what happened. A white girl by herself walking the streets in her own city.
Was heißt das? Au! Au! Fuck! Au! Ah, ich habe immer was abbekommen. Ich habe immer was gegen den Kopf bekommen. Au! Ich glaube, wenn ich so 2 Meter Türsteher Schrank wäre, hätten die das nicht gemacht. Ah, schon wieder, Alter! Wichser!
The Muslims were throwing rocks at her because she was out there walking the streets by herself without a man escorting her, probably. In her own city. These Muslims, who aren't from that city, aren't from that country, think they can go there and tell the citizens what they have to do, what laws and rules they have to abide by. This is absolutely insane. This needs to be stopped. And one of the big reasons I follow a lot of what's going on in Europe is because it's coming here to the United States too. It hasn't gotten this bad yet. But this is what people in the United States need to be watching because it's coming here. This is what our left-wing politicians are trying to do to our country. Now, there's a lot of us who are going to fight against it. But, you know, we need to be aware of what's going on around the world. We need to watch this. I hope there's not just Europeans out there watching this video. I hope there's Americans out there watching this video and they're waking up. I hope. So anyways, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Head down to the comment section, leave a comment on any of the clips or the videos or anything that we saw today. And thank you for watching.